Hello and happy Valentine's Day. I'm really excited to do this collaboration with the fellow Black Jfashionistas and creatives and Kawaii folk who are coming together to share this video series. This is my second time participating in this collaboration, and I'm really excited to talk about self-care and practices as someone in the Jfashion community. So there's a lot to talk about for this video, and I will do my best to keep it brief. However, don't be surprised if I get a little bit verbose every now and again, because self-care and self-love are two of the very big things in my life as a love core enthusiast and someone who tends to celebrate Valentine's Day in my own way all year long. So how do I practice self-care as a Black Jfashionista? First thing you should know is that, well, I read. A lot of my self-care comes in taking time away from online spaces, and so that includes things like writing, reading, and sometimes just taking a social media break overall. As much as I love the community and the people that I've made friendships with online, social media can still be very draining, and there's a lot of negativity and a lot of horrid things that can kind of happen in that space. And not everyone has empathy. So when I take time away from social media, I think that's the best self-care practice that I can give myself, especially as someone who works within social media spaces a lot and for work and creative pursuits. I also really enjoy writing to friends. I've really found that journaling through that method and just taking time to talk to a friend through a letter has been very kind and forgiving in its own way. I think that is a good self-care practice, to write to friends and maintain my friendships that are a lot further out and farther away from where I am right now. So the next question is, what is your fondest memory from being in your local comm? So what's interesting about being on social media is that I tend to view all of Jfashion as my community. I have a local comm here in the DMV area, of course, and I enjoy them and being around them a lot. And I've met some really cool people through this fashion community. However, my fondest memory from being in the Jfashion community was actually when I went to Chicago. And so I had left Maryland, went on a trip to a birthday Jfashion meet all the way in Chicago, and that's where I met one of my favorite people in the whole world, Kamila, which you might know as Hardcore. And when I got to interact with the Chicago community and saw how welcoming and kind they were, it truly made me feel, just in general, very welcome in the community. I've only been dressing this way for about 8 years, so every now and again I probably still say that I'm like a baby in Jfashion, but when I meet more people from the community from different areas and different lifestyles and different substyles too, I've found that it's always been a really nice and welcoming space, and I've really enjoyed meeting more people through this fashion. How has this journey through Jfashion positively impacted my life and mental health? So I don't really talk about my origins in Jfashion as often as I probably should, because I haven't been dressing in this fashion for, I would consider, not that long, because I haven't even made it to like the decade marker. It's only been about 7-8 years. And I started dressing this way as a way to, I guess, refine myself and refine my identity and like reaffirm who I am. I was actually coming out of an abusive relationship, so this fashion helped me reconnect with myself, find my own version of self-love, and then expressing who I am in a very colorful medium. And overall, it gave me so much joy in life again. When you dress in bright colors, it can kind of be really freeing and joyful, and it inspires you to be happy too. And so I've kind of like tricked myself into enjoying life again through fashion, but then also at the same time exploring who I am and who I want to be through this fashion. And one of the things I've really enjoyed about this is that it also gave me a space to meet new people. When you're not in college or at work, it can be really hard to make friends as an adult, so I think that this fashion also allowed me to meet new people and make new friendships, which also really helped me a lot. And of course, I've enjoyed writing and sharing stories in this community, and that's also encouraged me in my creative life. What is one piece of advice that you received from someone in the community that positively impacted your outlook on J fashion? This is kind of a hard question to answer because oddly enough, I feel like I tend to be on the flip side of that, so I tend to be giving advice rather than receiving advice. However, a lot of the advice I have received from those in the J fashion community has always been encouragement about not being afraid to voice my thoughts or share my voice. And even though that's more related to my creative pursuits, I do think that that advice is still very sound, and I like that through this fashion, being unapologetically myself is not only encouraged, but like I'm sharing that experience with other people who are doing the same thing. And it's a big confidence booster, and it allows me to kind of like thrive in my own Leo way too. So I've been really enjoying meeting more people who are being themselves in the best way possible, in the brightest way possible, in a loud way, in a cute way, and I like that. I feel like I didn't really answer that question, but to be fair, I do tend to be giving more advice rather than receiving advice. But hey, you could change that by leaving me some advice in the comments. Last question. How do you protect your peace as a Black Jfashionista? I need to do it more often, I will be honest with you. I definitely need to disengage from social media a little bit more than I do, and I've really liked that there are now like little pockets where I can interact with the J fashion community away from like major social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok. I've really enjoyed the community that I've met with and engaged with through Discord. I always like meeting friends at conventions, of course, and in-person events a lot. I do believe that a part of what protects my peace as a J fashionista is that I also have stopped putting more care into what others think about me, and I'm just gonna focus on doing what I want to do and doing the work that I do. And by allowing myself that space to just exist, I don't have to feel as pressured to be perfect, to have like all the latest stuff. Like, I'm focusing on me, and that's the best way that I can protect my peace, because if I get too concerned about what others think of me and what others are doing, then my brain is like all scrambled and all over the place, and I think that's the best way that I can protect my peace. Anyway, this was a collab with my fellow community members online and also in person, and I hope that you enjoy this series. I will be linking the videos and social media profiles for those who participated in this collaboration. You can also see this in my blog as well, and for now, I'm wishing you a happy Valentine's Day, and I want to hear how you practice self-care and how you protect your peace in this community.